This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson being asked tough questions. And also, we're going to talk about Jordan Davis being called overweight. And lastly, AJ Brown will talk to the media today. But let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into the topics, I read some of the comments in my last video, and you guys were asking me, why do you still have hope in this team? They like, even as a fan myself, I don't have hope. I always say this before I'm a YouTuber or anything, that 7 year old kid, 5 year old kid is still in me and still love the Eagles. I still hope for them to win. Sometimes me just watching the game as a YouTuber and breaking down the games can override my fandom at times, but my fandom do come back. And I was doing research on Google, and I guess my guy Nigel was doing the same research. What team ended their season bad in recent years and won the Super Bowl? And what came up on Google was the Baltimore Ravens 2012. And Nigel, and I'm gonna put some tweets right here, he did the same research, but he broke it down. He was like, look, they lost three of their last four. Obviously, we got an extra game now in recent history because last time or a couple years ago, we used to only play 16 games. Now you play 17. They lost three of their last four. We lost three of our last four. And ironically, one of the big games both teams won at a time. Eagles, remember, they big win was against the Bills, and then the downfall was there. And I think they had a big OT win, but they went downhill as well. And what ended up happening in that 2012 season, just to break it down, not to go into too much detail, everybody know Joe Flacco went crazy during the playoffs. Like, he couldn't be stopped. And their defense was shaky. Even though they had Ray Lewis, remember everybody was saying it's time for Ray Lewis to hang it up? Their defense was shaky. And, same thing with our defense. Our defense is shaky, but it took a guy like Joe Flacco to go off and for the team to rally around Ray Lewis. Now, I would say this. Nigel said the same thing in his tweet. If you're going to rally around anybody, it got to be Jason Kelsey. He got a ring. He did it at the highest level. I think this team could rally around him and do it. And if I trust any quarterback that refuses to lose in the playoffs, I got to trust Jalen Hurts because I still believe Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy. I still believe Jalen Hurts is better than Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, any of these dudes. He's just being hindered by the play calling. But this team got to honestly rise above their coaching staff. They have to do it if they want to go anywhere far. And trust me, that's just the fandom in me. But my eyes are telling me, this team is done. Even my ears, but my heart, it's like, man, if the Ravens can do it, we can do it. But that's just the fandom in me talking. But let's get into the topics today. So let's talk about Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson. They being asked some tough questions. And man, the media, Philly media, YouTubers, the fans, we don't like Philly media because A, they ask softball questions, and then B, they try to destroy the locker room from time to time. But I think they asked some valid questions here. But let me go ahead and play this clip of WIP asking Nick Sirianni the questions.
That you have lost the team, that players or certain players are no longer responding to your messaging or approach?
No, I'm not concerned about that. We're just looking to get back on the right track. Last week against the Giants, got back in the win column. Obviously, didn't happen the exact same way we wanted it to happen, but got in the win column. And then, hey, we dropped this one this week. And the next thing is just to go back to work, and I'm not concerned about that. I know the players and the coaches we have on this team. We got great leaders that all we want to do is right the ship. I'm confident that we can do that, and that's where we are right now.
Nick, is the AJ Brown thing, to us on the outside seems very strange. And I wonder this, is he making suggestions about what you guys can do offensively that you're not implementing? And do you think that is frustrating him?
I'm not going to speak for AJ. I said some things on the media yesterday where, about AJ and who he is as a person. He's a great person. He's a great teammate, and he's a great player. And I know all those things, those other things about AJ because I spend a lot of time with him, in meeting room, a lot of individual time with him as well. And I know he's got a great heart. And, obviously we're all frustrated at this particular time. Again, not going to speculate or share anything on, any conversation that I've had with AJ. I always keep my conversations private. But we're all frustrated at this time, right? We all want to get out of this rut that we're in, and we know
they got straight into it. Straight into it, man. Do you think you lose in the locker room, bro? What's going on with you and AJ Brown? I mean, he gave some answers. I believe Jordan Mailata even spoke on the topic a little bit, saying that Nick Sirianni haven't lost the locker room and AJ Brown is a great leader. So it's just a lot of speculations that's wrong. And all I can do is take their word from it. But what it's telling me is that AJ Brown is frustrated with the coaching staff. And it seems like, because Jordan Mailata is a positive guy, I expect him to say that. I will say that. Like, rest of the team don't look like they feeling it, Sirianni. But we will see if we can turn it around. And even with Brian Johnson. But let me go ahead and play this clip.
Yeah, what happened on the miscommunication that led to the timeout that had to be called?
Yeah, we just had a miscommunication on a personnel grouping. Really never should have happened. So, anytime that happens, obviously, it's not great. We ended up getting to the play, that we wanted to, but something that you obviously don't want to do.
Right. Brian, can you take us into?
As you see, not easy for him too. But there was other stuff that was happening during the press conference, which the Eagles leader deleted, so I couldn't get the clips. But they asked him about the second and 16, third and whatever, and he was like, "Look, we tried to catch them off guard with a QB draw, but there was like 7 guys in the box. So how was you gonna catch them off guard again? We was very predictable." And he was even asked, like, "Yo, why not go?" Basically, I'm summing it up. Why not go for the kill shot and beat this Arizona Cardinal team and go for the touchdown? Why would you go for the field goal if the defense is struggling? He's basically said, "I only can handle what I can handle." And, they went for the field. They was very conservative. You can't be that conservative with your defense playing that bad. You just cannot be that conservative. But I got to give big ups to the Philadelphia media. They definitely asked the questions we wanted to know. They didn't beat around the bush. They got straight into it. And I like that, and I love that. Let them know, like, look, this ain't no time to play up to your feelings or anything like that. Ask these dudes the direct questions. So salute to the Philadelphia media. But let's talk about Jordan Davis. Baldy has some pretty harsh things to say about Jordan Davis. But let me go ahead and play this clip.
What happened to this defensive line?
Well, I mean, it's clear that Jordan Davis is out of shape. Like, I don't know what they find him, Zach. You're in there every day. Like, I don't know what they find him every week, but I got to believe he's getting money taken from him. He's overweight, and it shows. Like, he's not pursuing the football. He's nothing in the pass rush. So that's one. So if he's going to play with that effort and be overweight like that, then you say, okay, well, they're a man short in the rotation. Fletcher's playing too much. Jalen's because he's not effective right now. They need another guy inside in their defensive tackle rotation. I'm not sure why he keeps dressing. He's been ineffective.
Wow.
When the plays are going on, he is basically walking on the field. It's bad effort. But guys are getting blocked right now.
Ooh, Baldy. I I think that was a little harsh, and that's coming from me. You guys always say I don't like Jordan Davis, this and that. I believe Milton Williams is better, and I somewhat still do. But you don't single out Jordan Davis like that. The whole D line's been lackluster, I will say. But for him to say like, "Yo, Jordan Davis shouldn't even suit up," that's not good. That's not good at all. That means whatever Baldy is seeing on tape just simply don't look good. Now, a lot of Eagles fans are mentioning like the Bills game, like what he did that game. Trust me, the whole team been bad since the Bills game, but you can't use that to big up Jordan Davis. I know Jordan Davis is, to Eagles fans, he's not the guy to talk about negatively. He's just not. But it's okay to be critical of him. He hasn't been playing up to a standard. Beginning of the season, you could tell he felt good, felt great. But since then, he is gassed. He is gassed. A lot of people going in on Jalen Carter, but at least he's still show flashes here and there. At least he got a sack last game. Jordan Davis cannot stop the run. Obviously can't get at the quarterback. He's been a liability, but I say that about all these guys that have been on the D line. Josh Sweat haven't gotten a sack in 2 months. Hassan Reddick is hard for me to put something on him because I think they just playing the wrong. They dropping them in coverage too much. I get it. They trying to mix it up, but they dropping them in coverage. I think I seen one play. They dropped him in coverage and tried to rush like Kevin Byard at the quarterback. Like they trying to be too exotic and it's really costing them. Don't want to drop your best edge rusher in coverage to throw guys off. He get paid to go get the quarterback. Let him go get the quarterback. Fletcher Cox, he's older. It is what it is. The treads on that tire is running out. Even Brandon Graham. Two of the bad moves we made this offseason, and it's two, we thought we could get away with, and it's costing us now. One was cutting Kayvon Wallace. I still think that was a mistake because you didn't give him a chance to develop. I know Philadelphia, we want to rush the development, but to pick Justin Evans over Kayvon Wallace was a huge mistake. You shouldn't have did that. Number 2, trading Kadarius Street to the Atlanta Falcons. Even though you look at it like that's really nothing, but when you look at the D line, how gassed they look, you should have kept your depth. You should have kept Kadarius Street. You should have. And I get what Howie was trying to do, trying to get some picks to get a safety. And we end up getting Kevin Byard, who's been average at best. But Kadarius Street should have still been on this team. I'm not saying he would have made a difference or not, but that depth piece, that's a small, bad move. Very minute, bad move. Those two moves are costing us down because Kayvon Wallace is having a career year in Tennessee. And Kadarius Street, again, that was just a depth piece who was solid. And now your D-line looks tired. I don't want to really say Derek Barnett because Derek Barnett wasn't really making an impact anyway. But you see why Josh Sweat didn't play so many snaps because he looked gassed. So I don't know. But again, back to Baldy to single out Jordan Davis. I think that was a little harsh because, again, the whole D-line just haven't been good. Could be a product of the secondary. Maybe. You're playing guys 8 yards off and the quarterback getting the ball out of his hands fast. Then, yeah, but there was times where Kyler Murray had time in the pocket. And the way they was moving our O-line, our D-line with the run game was crazy to me. It was crazy. I guess let's get into the next topic. AJ Brown. Keep this short and sweet. He will talk to the media today. I will be looking out, see what he say. See if he say anything. But big ups to him, A lot of his teammates, even the coaches, have been bombarded with AJ Brown questions, and AJ Brown can answer questions for himself. So it's good that he will talk, get his thoughts off. And yeah, I like it. I like it a lot because, again, I mentioned Jordan Mailata had to talk for him. Devontae Smith asked a lot of questions about him. Nick Sirianni. Let's hear what what AJ Brown has to say. Let's just hear what he has to say. But hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news today? Had to go over some things I've been seeing. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.